now.
This is for all the lonely people, thinking that life has passed them by. Don't give up until you drink from the silver cup and ride that highway in the sky. This is for all the single people, thinking that love has left them dry. Don't give up until you drink from the silver cup. You never know until you try. Well, I'm on my way. Yes, I'm back to stay. Well, I'm on my way back home. Get it? This is for all the lonely people, thinking that life has passed them by. Don't give up until you drink from the silver cup. Never take you down or never give you up. You never know until you try.
And this is for all the lonely people. You do not want to change that dial. You're listening to 106.1 TAN Talk Radio. You're listening to the Shrink and Wrap Show. So who wants to be lonely? Do y'all want to be lonely?
No, not me.
Not me.
But is loneliness peaceful sometimes? Yes or no?
Yes, it could be.
Yes or no? It could
Well,
be.
if you choose alone time, but if you feel lonely, no.
No.
Right? It's two
Absolutely
different
not.
things. Yeah.
And that's just the segue into today's topic, Modern Dating 101, right here at the Shrink and Wrap Show. Welcome, everybody. This is your community station. My name is Tracy. I am your host, and I have my wraps here today. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. I have my entertainment host, Renee,
Hi.
and thank you for being here.
You're so
And
welcome.
she is one of my wraps. And thank you for always being patient, for being the caboose of the show. And I cut you off, and I've been really trying to work on that.
You haven't cut me off.
I've cut you off, and you've been so graceful
Well,
and
you've given
kind
me
about it.
shorter minutes, but you don't cut me off. So
But yeah,
thank you.
we always talk about it, but I have bad time management, but I'm learning this show.
You think that I don't know that? Because I'm just like you.
Yeah, I know
So
we are,
we're
but
learning.
you understand. So
Yeah.
thank you. And I'm glad you have some airtime today to make up for all those cutoff times, right?
Yeah.
And then I have my other rap, Donna Kay here. Donna Kay, we work together, and you have, we talked about this modern world of dating, and you expressed some interest in it.
Yes.
And I love, and I hope people can listen to you, and I hope that you can mentor others, both of y'all
Yes.
in the dating world, in modern world dating. And it doesn't matter. I think 50 plus is all the same. I
Right.
personally do.
Right.
You know, like we're all but after a certain age of maturity, I think that, we're all in the same age. So it's nice to have some inspiring people and some experience
Right.
about modern world dating.
Yeah. And we're all
After
at different
50.
stages of the dating process. So for me, I've been single since 2001, but not to say I didn't have a long-term relationship in dating and all that kind of thing. But then, some of my girlfriends are just getting divorced. So we're just on different, we're all on the same journey, but we're in different places on the road.
Right.
Mhm.
And do you ever feel lonely?
Oh yeah, I do. But then I'm kind of like, I like my alone time. Sometimes I
agree.
wonder, like, is something wrong with me? Because actually kind of the opposite, sort of like I like being alone
Yes.
sometimes because I'm kind of creative artist. So But there are times I say, am I supposed to be with somebody? We're not supposed to be alone, are we?
I think there's a balance of it all, but I think married couples can be alone. I think sometimes people that are
Yeah,
married can feel it could be a loveless marriage and they could be alone.
Sure. And
So-
especially when somebody travels 10 days and gone away and then they come back in and you're by yourself a lot. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
you learn that alone time is precious. And when you are together, you have a wonderful time being together. But that I really do appreciate my alone
Your
time.
downtime.
Yes. Single, and the longer you are
get
by
the
yourself
comfort zone.
and you really have to watch and be careful with that.
That's
I
a
agree.
good point,
Yeah.
Renee, and I
Yeah.
appreciate you bringing
Yeah.
that up. One of my little raps, and that's what this show is about. DJ Ed, thank you for being here today. Last week you did a little magic trick on me. I looked and it was somebody else. You punked
looked
me, or were you
different,
just
yeah.
done with us?
Your alter ego.
Well, I figured he didn't come after he's listening to the Googles
Yeah.
in here.
No thanks.
He's like, I gotta go.
He wanted no input.
I'm busy.
I'm
I'm
trying
busy
to
that
include
day.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm busy that day.
Well, anyway, we hope he comes back.
Yeah,
So,
he was cute.
yeah, he was. He was really sweet. So that was Lonely People, and that was by America. So don't give up until you drink from the silver cup. That's one of my favorite lines. What the show is about, therapist. I'm not going to spend too much time on the same thing I say all the time, but it's licensed therapists who offer suggestions and opinions. And it's my raps who give their point of views on certain topics. But then I tie in songs that have lyrics that might have a certain meaning to you. So please listen to the lyrics of the song. And I always want to recommend the app. The Shazam app is awesome. You download it. It's free. You put your phone in the air for your favorite songs. And I can tell you, I feel like I've got really good taste in songs. I'm going to give myself credit for that. And I can tell you this too. When I get goosebumps from someone singing,
Yes.
they're going to be the winner.
Yeah.
That's just all there is to it. So before we get started with the show today, I would like to again do this kind of early. I all the mothers to us, to everybody, cheers to Mother's Day. And that is such a gift that we are given to be able to be a mother. So I would like to especially thank my mother from the bottom of my heart, for my sister and from me and my family, because we definitely cherish and value her. We never have a chance to say Happy Mother's Day. And if your mom is not with you, I personally believe there is more. I am not debating all that with anybody, but talk to them in your prayers.
Oh, I say it all the
I
time.
do.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
fortunate. My mom lived to be 101, but
Oh my God.
before
Wow.
she passed, and we used to do art, paint together and stuff. And I said, I just said, I'm going to really miss you when you're gone. And she said, oh, you're going to make me cry. But I was so happy I said it because, you're going to, but you never
Absolutely.
say it. You know what I mean? And it was like, we were both going to cry, but she knew.
I had a great experience. My mother stayed with me for almost 2 years before she passed, and she taught. Well, she was a force in our family anyhow.
Mhm.
But the gardening techniques that she taught me, and the little things that you think you know about them, and until you live
Right.
together, you're like, oh my gosh. I sometimes want to get on the phone and call her. Hey, you better tell me what's going on down here.
Yeah.
They
That's
are
true.
angels.
Yeah, and I believe that. I read a little quote the other day because I'm all about love, and I'm trying to. That's what started this whole show, and it runs the common denominator is love. And I think love is such a topic that we really should look at and appreciate it. But love lasts forever.
Yeah.
So you might not see her, but it's in your heart and it's an energy.
Every day.
Don't you find that somewhat fascinating that you can actually feel the energy of love? Can you
Absolutely.
feel her in your heart?
Yes. Oh,
Can you feel?
Absolutely. And
So-
sometimes I think that she plays jokes on me. Maybe it's the song on the radio
Yeah.
that we liked. Or, it's funny. They do. If you're sensitive to it, if you're open to it, you'd be surprised.
Oh, I say that all the time. My
Yes.
grandmothers, I told them, I've said it on the show before,
Mm-hmm.
you can give me signs, but don't glow in the dark. My mom will glow in the dark. She will, because she likes to mess with me sometimes. So, Mom, I love you. Thank you for everything. The bottom line is love. I know you love me. I know I love you. I know I drive you crazy, but we love each other.
Yeah.
So, DJ Ed, do we have the song I picked out for Mother's Day from Megan Trainor? I'm not sure how many people have learned this.
Mom, she might be the bomb, but ain't nobody got a mom like mine. Her love's till the end, she's my best friend. Ain't nobody got a mom like mine. She's my world, she's my heart, and there's no denying I'm her girl, no matter what. Even when I'm lying, she loving me, loving me, loving me, loving me, love. She loved me like nobody else. I'm telling you, telling you, telling you, telling you all. She taught me how to love myself. You might have a mom, she might be a bomb, but ain't nobody got a mom like mine. Her love's till the end, she's my best friend. Ain't nobody got a mom like mine. See, we go way back. Oh, I remember all the times I cried. She made me feel better. She loving me, loving me, loving me, loving me. She loved me like nobody else. I'm telling you, telling you, telling you, telling you all. She taught me how to love myself. Hey.
So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, and to my mom especially. And I also want to say that I love being a mom. I love it. It is the best thing. I never dreamed the beauty of it. Like I was like, I was gonna get babysitters, I was gonna keep my sports car and all that. But instead I was on the PTA, drove a minivan, got kicked off of PTA because I couldn't get off. Had to cut the umbilical cord. Yeah, and all the kids were at my house.
Mine
so
too. Yeah.
I am so grateful for being a mother. So thank you for that in life. So with that being said, we're going to switch over now. Today's topic is going to be modern dating in today's world. But I've got our shrink on Roween. And is Roween with us, DJ Ed?
I am.
Hi.
Happy Mother's Day.
Hi. Oh, thank you. And same to you, Roween. Happy Mother's Day. And by the way, I always tease the men in my family, including my son, like, it is a woman that brought you in the world.
Absolutely.
I always like to have fun with that because, you know, my son, and I say that lightly because I love men. We love men.
Yes,
There's no male bashing on the show.
No.
But if I ever get a little bit of cockiness going on, I'm like, you know, it was a woman that brought you in the world.
I love it.
But you did participate in that. So anyway, so we'll leave it at that. So welcome to the show, Roween, and thank you as always for all of your advice. And today we're going to be talking about modern dating 101 because through the years, generational dating, I think, has definitely changed. And in a modern world, it's definitely different. But before we go to that topic, I had asked you if you can come on just to switch gears for a second. Hurricane season's around the corner. Can you just give us 2 to 3 minutes of what advice you can give people that might have a little anxiety about these hurricanes coming? Because I'm starting to feel it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So can you just give a little bit, then we'll come back to that later down the road, but let's see what you got to
Sure.
say.
And especially with last year's hurricane season being on people's minds, I'm sure it is a thing that's creating some nervousness. Have a plan. Work it out ahead of time of when you'll leave, when you'll stay, what you'll do. Having a plan ahead of time so you don't have to come up with everything at last minute relieves a lot of anxiety.
Right. Last minute stuff. Yeah. Because last year it was so funny. Everybody in my neighborhood was, well, my neighbor in particular, he was, I got to leave because of the windows. And I'm like, I didn't think about the windows. They're 30 years old. I probably should have booked a hotel, but anyway, preparing is very important. And now is the time while things are on the shelves. Maybe a battery operated fan.
Price.
Yeah. For a reasonable price too. Exactly right.
Good point. Right.
So I'd like to have you come back on and talk about that as we get a little closer to summer.
As we get closer. The second thing I would like everyone to keep in mind is this isn't our first rodeo. We've done this before and survived. So keep reminding yourself of that. You know what to do. You have a plan. You survive. And as you follow the plan, you will continue to survive. We might not like the outcome, but we will survive it.
Right. And knowledge is power. So listen to the weathermen. I mean, and don't underestimate the news. I will say that.
And
too.
I was going to say too, if you have a friend who is by themselves, offer. I did that last, hurricane season last year, because maybe think they're okay or feel kind of funny to ask for help or something, but maybe making sure people who who live alone are covered.
I agree with that.
Mhm.
Exactly
Mhm.
right. I had people come to my place, and I left to go up north.
Yeah, you left. Yeah, take
and I
care of
had
my
people,
place, right?
You want to get outside Tampa? Come north. I'll take care of you.
Sure.
You can have my place.
Yeah, that's so.
That was nice.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, thank you, Rowena. I'm going to be asking that question throughout as we go into summertime, because it's a very real fear, and some people are still recovering. And my prayers go out to everybody that is still recovering from all that from last year.
Absolutely.
So let's just wish it away. So, Rowena, I'm going to play our Loosen Up song, and when we come back from the Loosen Up song, we're going to be talking a little bit. I want to revisit the alpha term in dating, because when I left the show last week, I'll tell you why after our Loosen Up song. So, DJ Ed, can we play our Loosen Up song?
But I took a walk around the world to ease my troubled mind. I left my body lying somewhere in the sands of time. But I watched the world float to the dark side of the moon. I feel there's nothing I can do. Yeah. I watched the world float to the dark side of the moon. After all, I knew it had to be something to do with you. I really don't mind what happens now and then, as long as you'll be my friend at the end. If I go crazy, then will you still call me Superman? If I'm alive and well, will you be there holding my hand? I'll keep you by my side with my superhuman might, kryptonite.
Kryptonite.
That's an alpha dog.
Bye. I was going to ask the question, and look at this one. She wanted to be the
She's
winner.
on it. Okay.
No, I didn't know. That's
exactly what I
reminded me
asked.
of an alpha dog.
That was Kryptonite and Superman.
Yeah.
Okay. And that is sung by Three Doors Down. So, ladies and Rowena and DJ Ed,
Mhm.
we talked last week about the term alpha. So would you say that was an alpha song?
I would say it stands for an alpha song.
And how do you feel about that?
I didn't know what that song was, but yeah, and
Superman.
Well, of course, Superman.
Doesn't like
Hello,
Superman.
but I did look up, just for kicks. Okay, alpha. Okay, what's an alpha male? What's an alpha female? And the thing is, it was the same. It's that we're strong, or I say we. Listen to me. Strong.
Well, you said you were alpha last
yes.
week.
Okay.
Yes, of course. I think I'm alpha
I think we
too.
all are.
Yeah.
Are you alpha?
Just I think I'm moderate, but I lean towards alpha.
I'm definitely not.
You're
Well,
definitely
well, I
I'm
don't
not
know.
an
Let me
alpha.
tell you. Let me
Not
tell
even
you. I
on
think
your-
you are.
No, I think you are too.
I'm not.
Well, listen.
yes.
I don't really want it. I mean, I hate to tell
Oh,
you.
you don't want to?
No offense.
No,
Okay.
no,
I am not
none of
an
us
alpha.
want to be. It's in your
Yeah.
DNA.
Absolutely.
Whether you have to
I'm
use it or not is what it's there.
Well,
it's inside.
You
You
are
don't.
so right on, because
Right?
it was how it's your genetics and it's your early experiences.
Yeah.
For me, I know that was for
100%.
me.
It wasn't.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it's strong. You're a leader, self-assured, independent, kind, empathetic, generous,
Yeah.
values honesty and
And
fairness.
I feel like that's all you
Wow,
are.
exactly.
So you can't say no.
No, I'm just kidding. But I still okay. I feel like that's an identity thing. Like I feel like I definitely feel like there's identity. But alpha, yeah,
Listen,
okay.
It's not okay. It's not the same as being an type A. That's assertive, aggressive,
Okay.
competitive.
Yes.
It's
Big
very different. And
Okay.
I
There
looked
is
it
a
up
big
because
difference.
I was
did too.
confused. So when I
Thank you
read
for that.
this, yeah,
Learning
it
stuff
was
on-
nice.
Yeah.
because we're like, oh, and like I'm an alpha male, like you meet somebody dating.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
not what that means.
I
though.
know.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Rowena, are you with us? Do you hear what's going on
I
in
am.
this
Oh my
little
gosh,
aquarium?
Rowena, add
Yes.
on.
Tell us what you think, because I don't think I'm an alpha, but I do have a zest for life, but it's not about me. I just wanted to define this term alpha because I don't know if it's a bad term to some people or not. And when I looked at the vocabulary word, one of the vocabulary words had aggressive. Okay, well, if you get an alpha guy that is, aggressive with the women physically or whatever, that's definitely not the right guy. But it's not necessarily that all alphas are like that.
No.
And that's what I want to bring light to the show, because alpha's not a bad word,
No.
like you just said.
I know.
No.
I was shocked.
Or
but
for a female.
yes.
Thank you for looking that up. And that's why I opened this show up to that,
mhm.
because I think it's so important for people to understand the definition of things, because I don't even know if I'm saying the right word. Go ahead, Rowena.
Yes.
What do you have to say from there? Thank you.
I have to say that I think being an alpha is an important thing. However, the way it's been contorted in our society,
Yeah.
so that when a man says he is an alpha male, as I said last week, it's really important to ask him what he means by that.
Right.
Because we have a group of quote unquote alpha men in this country who tell us that alpha means you listen to me, you do as I say, you don't question, I have the final say, and you take care of me. That makes me the alpha. And in return, I will protect you. But nobody says who's protecting the woman from him.
But is that the official definition?
No.
No.
No, that's not.
Okay,
That
that's an assumption.
Right.
But that's the colloquial
Yeah.
definition
Yeah.
for lots of people.
Yeah.
Particularly lots of men.
It's really a wrong term, in my opinion.
Right.
How do y'all feel
Mhm.
about
It
that?
I think it is. I was shocked when I looked it up, and I said, I've actually had some people say, like, like if you meet a man, alpha male, like dumb me down, don't like say too much about what you do and your life. And I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
that's so not right.
Right, I
That's just
know.
so not. That's an artificial
Mhm.
fake
Well, that's
behavior.
the colloquial definition
Right.
of an alpha.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's whether we ascribe to that or not
Yeah.
that we get to decide. That's why last week I said, ask him, what does he mean by
Right.
he's an
Yes.
alpha male?
Mm-hmm.
If we talk about wolf pack, there is an alpha male and female in the wolf pack, but when you look at how the alpha in the wolf pack behaves, they take care of
Mhm.
all the women, all the children. They don't do any of the aggressive behaviors other wolf pack members do. They're
Mhm.
calm, they're focused, and they take care. They're very nurturing and
Right.
caring
Mhm.
all the other members of the pack.
Yeah.
That is the traditional and the dictionary meaning of alpha.
So
It has been convoluted in our society to mean some other thing.
Yeah, it's terrible.
So
I mean,
time out. I was just going to ask you, do you think that there would be a better term for what we're talking in describing as an alpha male or female?
what do you,
Is there another definition that because we were just talking
That's a good
about
question. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just alpha.
No, I mean, there should
I don't
be like,
understand.
since she's saying it's not really,
It's
aggressive, it's
misunderstood.
misunderstood.
People need to
So,
look up the definitions.
Yeah.
That's part of the whole, in my opinion, everything.
mhm.
People really don't know what they're saying. They hear it from someone
That's what I'm
else and they
saying.
don't know the true
Right.
definition. So
And
that's why
certainly-
she just
Mhm.
learned, I learned, and to me, I've never had a problem with alpha.
Mhm.
Right. Social media gets involved in that. I had a male client tell me about something called an AMOD. That stands for alpha male of the group. And they're the ones who are always trying to push their agenda on everyone else in the group.
But isn't that a type A versus alpha? That's what I
Yes,
thought.
that's what I was just saying.
I
There's
thought I
another term
interpreted,
for
yeah.
type A.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that can be attached
That's why I was
to
asking
any,
her. Could
yeah.
we not use alpha
Yeah.
male
Thank you.
and use a type A male? instead of for that aggressive or
Absolutely.
more.
Right.
But not every male is aggressive. You know, they might be aggressive in energy of
So
being
then they're
successful. Yeah, which is a compliment
Right.
because that's where leaders, you know, that's just part of it. But
And you know, I think you
Yeah.
changed too, because it's funny, probably younger, I did what I thought was an alpha male. Probably that was really who I was attracted to and
Yeah.
who was attracted to me. But now that I'm older, I think I've changed. You know, I think it's more kind of more a little bit kind of more reserved or something. I don't know if I always thought the alpha male was like the peacock, but then you get lost. You know, you get lost in
but
that
there-
translation.
100%.
I mean, I'm just
That's
using
so
generalization,
true.
but I'm saying, but I've even changed now. Like then you can even change what you liked before, what attracted you before. We're not this, it's different now.
okay, so
Fast
here's the
forward.
$1 million question.
Mhm.
So in my opinion, will we agree that alpha is not a bad word?
No,
Right.
we agree.
Because I don't know what I can say anymore.
Yeah.
This generation. Is it bad, rowing? Am I going to get in trouble for saying alpha? Or because I like an alpha? Or because she's an alpha? Are we going to be in word prison?
It's not a bad word.
Thank you.
It's important to clarify with the person identifying that way
Mhm.
what they mean by it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, yeah, and I will say it because I want to say this too, because I found that interesting. And I'm just saying it because, again, I think it's important to understand the words we're using
Mhm.
for community and being together. And so anyway, these are words that I came up with. So I'm going to ask you guys. So there's alpha male. It says the term is often associated with dominance, assertiveness, and a tendency to lead, which I don't think is bad.
That's
Right.
not bad.
But an alpha female
also
can
a
do the same thing.
Right.
Also
Absolutely.
a tendency to protect
Yeah,
Mhm.
right.
and
Values,
guard this.
yes, kind, empathetic, generous, values honesty, fairness. So this is
How can that be so bad?
nice. This is warm and fuzzy,
Right.
and that's not what we
no,
feel
we don't
like.
identify
No.
alpha that way.
But if they
That's the
have a
problem.
temperament
Mhm.
or, they're,
It's not all one package. Like this is
Yeah.
like I'm a woman,
Yeah.
and there's one spoke here that's alpha, but then I'm also this and this and this.
Yeah.
Also a mom, and I'm 25 other things.
Right.
So this is just a spoke in the wheel. You
yeah.
know,
So I
this
was
is
going to
just-
say
yeah.
being an alpha
Yeah.
female is not bad either,
Mhm.
because I think two alphas can be super successful
Yes.
with one another.
Yes, which
Right?
I did have. I did
Yeah.
have that.
Yeah,
Yes.
so that's a compliment.
Mhm,
So there's no
mhm.
reason for anyone, even as an alpha female, the men don't need to be worried about that. I mean, I
Right.
just think when your identity's taken and someone changes you, that
Yes.
becomes a manipulation. Am I wrong about that, Roween, a little bit? Or you tell me the truth
No,
about what I just said.
I'm not wrong about that.
Mhm.
What I wonder about is someone who identifies themselves as an alpha male.
Okay, then
Right.
you feel like they're letting you know.
They're
I'm
the
a-
dominant.
That
Okay.
they're more dominant, aggressive type, and that may not be what you're
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, because and that depends too on what the female wants, because the female might need
Right.
someone, or male, whatever your partner is. So whatever, whoever your partner is, they might like someone to lead them.
Right.
Well,
So
when
it's not bad either.
Mhm, mhm.
we talk about modern dating, one of the interesting things that has come out about modern dating is that there are men who are actually looking for female-led relationships.
Mhm.
Yeah,
We'll
there's
find that on
That's
the
the
dating
newest
site.
thing right now.
Right. They will put FLD. I mean, yes,
So
female
I see, yeah.
SFR. Sorry, for female-led relationships.
and that's
which
okay for
They
them.
want the woman to be the alpha, and that's okay too.
Okay, so we
it's
all
making-
agree alpha plus alpha works. It can equal a good relationship, right?
it could, but you do have to know when you have to back down and let that person take over. You do have
It's
to
a give
have
and
that
take.
sense of
Mhm.
feel, okay, this is maybe not my wheelhouse. I'm going to let him do it, or I'm going to do it. Like
That's
kind of a give and
exactly,
take.
you are so on point, because that's exactly what happened to me. 2 different relationships, it's very successful business. We're both alpha. Okay. The huge difference was when I was in charge, and so then he would come back and say, well, and I said, well, this happened, blah, blah, blah. And he said, well, why did you do that? Why did you do that? When he was in charge, I didn't do that. So it really wasn't quite equal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what you have to know.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's where the clash comes in.
Right. That's where it did.
When it-
Because when they are self-avowed alphas rather than actual alphas, they often don't listen to what anyone else has to
That's
say,
true.
whether it's a woman or someone else. And that is not a healthy relationship.
No, and you're so right. When I recently met someone online, and the first thing he said was he was an alpha male. See, now, as I said, I'm a woman. Okay, I'm a mom. I'm a painter. I'm a dancer. Okay. That's just one little. I don't describe myself as an alpha female. That would, and you were right. That was huge.
Yeah. And I'm glad you
Yeah.
pointed that out, Rowena. And, and that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to get this like cleared up because, last week I said a phrase, submit, not wit, because I think some people want some people want the man to be in charge, so you can let them believe they are, but
But
you're
you
not.
really
That
hold
came,
the-
but that
but
came
you
from
really
a reverend's
dangle the
wife,
keys.
a very popular
Yeah.
reverend's wife, and I heard that quote. I thought that was
It's true.
funny because you want them to feel that they like to feel that way. I don't think that's a bad thing, as long as you're not losing your identity and being controlled or physically abused.
I think if you know what you want,
Yeah.
it's a great thing. My older sister, two older sisters, the one who's 4 years older, I feel like she's in a different generation, and
Yeah.
she's very traditional, and she wants that.
Yeah.
And she found it again. My brother-in-law passed away, and she just was lost. And I knew she would be because I know her.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy for her.
Yeah, me too.
Could I do that? No.
No, not
But
me
you
either.
respect
But it's okay.
it.
Absolutely.
And you don't judge it.
No.
Yeah.
Rowena, can I ask you a question? Is there a possibility between an alpha and an A type? So could we identify a person that is very successful and has been always on top of the game and has done very well for himself, and an alpha woman? How would you describe that? Somebody that's like
I know a captain of the Navy SEALs whose wife was in charge.
Oh,
there you
yeah.
go.
No,
and
I
he
know.
liked it at home.
Yeah.
But on the ship,
Oh yeah.
He was in charge.
He was in charge.
but
So
but
when
at
they
home,
cross that threshold,
when he was at home, he was ordered around.
and I would
whipped
say
around.
that, and I would have to say
And he
that.
liked it.
Yeah. But I had somebody very successful, played the game in a massive way. And when he'd cross the border of the house, I'd say, yeah, you got to leave that there, because when you cross over this line here, you become the father of our girls and my husband.
Well, don't. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
when you're doing, you want an alpha guy.
Right.
I mean, you want a person, somebody successful that wants to take care of you, but also at home is able to flex back a little.
And that was your equation for you, and it's my equation, and it's your
Right.
equation, and that's why I want to respect everybody's day.
Yeah.
If there's a female,
Yep.
and I had a friend, she wanted her husband to stay home, and she wanted to go run
The work, the
and
business.
that's fine, and it worked for them, and
But
that's
it's not
what.
a bad thing.
No,
I think
it's
it
not.
works great.
That's what I'm
Right.
saying. Yeah. Sorry, Rowena. Go ahead. Getting
I
carried away.
so love.
Yeah.
But the last thing I want to say is communication between the two people is what's most important.
Yes.
Always.
Come to equal agreement that you both want to go in the same, to row your boat in the same direction.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to make for a healthy relationship.
Yeah, but the only thing is, you get a dog, and then the dog tries to fight for alpha too. So, I'm just saying.
Don't get the dog.
I've
Then.
already
Get
been
a
the
cat.
dog.
Get a cat.
So you have a wonderful week.
Rowie,
Yes.
you
And I'll
too.
talk to you next week.
Wait, can you give your number really quick to everybody that might want to come and talk to you?
Sure. It's 813-857-2401.
Thank you so much, Maureen. Happy Mother's Day to you, and enjoy your
Happy
weekend.
Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
All right, lady. Thank you for that info. So I want to just go through this really quick because I just looked this up again. So there's alpha male. This term is often associated with dominance, assertiveness, and a tendency to lead. Okay, beta male. This term is often used to describe men who are seen as agreeable, kind, and supportive. Then there's sigma male. I didn't know there's this many males for topics, so I'm just learning. This term is associated with solitary, independent, and self-reliant men. So to me, they're all good, right? So it doesn't matter.
It does, I really do believe there's somebody for everybody. You just have to find, as Rowene said, communicate. If
That's
you're
right.
looking, you can find them if you're looking. And sometimes I wonder if I'm even looking. That's a whole nother thing.
That's a whole nother topic.
I know, that's another show.
Yeah, that's a whole nother topic.
I just think it's something you don't have to think about. You know what I mean? Like it just happens and you just work together without thought. You know what I mean? Like without thought, I think so much.
Oh,
Right,
absolutely.
don't you
Yeah.
think? But I agree with everything you're saying. But
Mhm.
you and I talked, and I said, I want to redefine alpha because I didn't know if it was a bad term. But anyone could be aggressive, and so can women.
Absolutely.
There could be some aggressive women.
I think we've all known. Oh, yeah, we've all known that we can.
You don't want to get that frying pan
And
on
they
your
can
head.
get the cat scratching. They can get their claws out.
Cat scratching.
They can
You don't want a cat scratch. I love that word.
No.
Okay, let's for a couple of minutes because do you see how quick?
I know, it's amazing. It's incredible.
This is what happens.
I was looking at your clock.
Okay, no, but it's okay because we have time.
I thought it was 35 too.
Yeah, no. That's
girl.
why I'm always late because the wrong time. Okay, so this is the. All right, so let's go really quick. I just want to say acceptable ages in dating. And I don't want to talk about too much about other people, but we
Just in general.
in general, we know one guy is out there in the public. It's 50 years difference.
Right.
And we know who that is.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't want to critique or judge because that's not what my show is about, but it is out of the norm. 50 years is a little different. The average date.
Right. Why would you do that when you don't even have a commonality in a music, in anything? You can't even, I wouldn't think, as a topic of conversation. How do you carry on?
But they could both be lonely, and one, I don't know. But I'm not saying it's wrong or right, but okay. And then there was Anna Nicole Smith, and we brought Anna Nicole Smith last week, and I wanted to say this because I left, and then I saw a post with her sweet daughter. So she had a son.
Yes.
And she has a son who's very, very bright. And her daughter was so sweet. And what I loved about the post was she said, I put my mom's dress on and it felt like a hug.
Oh, that makes me, don't even,
And
I want to cry right
Mother's
now.
Day for her and being a daughter. So I don't want to take too much criticism of her dating somebody because I don't know what state of mind she was in.
The daughter is how old?
Well,
dating?
Her
mother.
Anna Nicole Smith dated an 89-year-old at 26.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So I've read, but to each its own is what I'm going to say. And I wanted to respect that. That's definitely,
I think too,
topic
it's
of conversation.
I think your maturity level, your,
emotional.
if something happened to you emotionally, or you got married really young, and then, say your husband died and you've just been used to this one person, I think there's something that kind of freezes because it's sort of, you're
arrested
protected.
development.
Yeah. And I think that's a huge part of then who you're attracted to in the age group. And then for myself, when women, we don't have to worry about, we don't want to have any more children. That's a whole, like we can be like a man, we can be much more free.
Right.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
Right.
You're absolutely right.
So there's a few factors there.
Yeah. It's just, it's interesting and it's a topic. And I did read, I might have these notes here, but they say half your age plus 7. There's like little protocols for that. But I mean, to me, to each its own. But also, she was 26 years old when she married him at 89. But he probably was super lonely. He looked at her as needing a little help. And, so whatever. But anyway, I wanted to have respect to her daughter and her children.
Right.
And I don't want to bash anybody for it. But, it's all different. Now, one other one, Celine Dion.
Was with the French
composer. And they were married forever.
Yeah, for a long time.
And their love story was different. Now, when you get into minors, that's a whole nother topic. But Celine Dion, she grew into a mature woman. And but when you get into minors,
she was very young.
That's a problem. That is a problem. But for Celine Dion, she carried
made
out,
it work.
Yeah, I don't even know how to explain that, and I probably shouldn't go down that rabbit hole.
I personally just think if you have a 5 to 7 year difference,
but not minors.
Over income, no minors.
No,
in overall a 5 to 7 year difference. Either way, whether he's 7 years older or 7, you still have the same decade. You still can communicate and have somewhat of the same goals.
Your emotional compatibility,
emotionally, everything.
Yeah.
But I feel like when somebody is that far apart, I do believe there's a definite reason for you picking a
There's
person
something,
that way.
yeah, there's,
And
yeah.
some people
Something
would say
missing.
she's a gold digger. Somebody might say he needs a daughter and he never had the daughter that he wanted.
Or she needed the father.
Well,
she needs her father.
It's usually that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Should
yeah.
men look out for gold diggers?
Absolutely.
What do you
100%.
think?
I think it's kind of flipped, to be honest with you. Yes, they should, and they did in the past, but I think it's also flipped.
I agree. A little bit.
And I've had that experience.
You mean like men taking advantage of?
Absolutely.
Are you kidding me? You know, some younger men, and that, and my rules I'm not dating any man younger than my children. Okay, so
Yeah.
Or anyone.
I won't let you.
right.
I won't let you. Go ahead. That's the kind of friend I am. But go ahead.
Also, I think too, you change. I feel like I change every 10 years. So when I got divorced and I was 49 and I had a long-term relationship, he was 12 years younger, and we're now, and we're platonic today. We're very good friends, but we still enjoy each other's company.
Yeah.
It's changed, but that's what I wanted then, because I had so much responsibility. And so it was like, yes, let's go dance, let's go rock and roll.
Fun.
Yeah. And so that was okay. So, and now I'm in a different, that was great. Right. So nothing's ever forever, I think, in a way.
I do think you're right. You change every 7 to 10 years and what you need and want.
Mm-hmm. Do we have a caller?
Oh,
okay.
yay.
Tell her. Give me 5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes, because I just want to finish this topic and I have a main song. So thank you, Detective Jay. Hold on with us while we close out this topic. I know my mom likes younger, she wants to live a life. And so,
good.
So, but to me, it's what your happiness is. So I'd like to talk more about this topic at some point, but I guess it really doesn't matter, but it's your happiness and your story, as long as it's legal and you're not a predator towards minors in any way, male or female.
Sure.
But anyway, it's your story. Your book is unwritten, and we're talking about love. And I think love does make the world go around. But I do want to listen to Celine Dion in 1 second. But any closing statements about age?
I just think that you're right. I think Donna Kay is right. You also have to find somebody from the get-go across the room and not look at the age, but just know that you're attracted to that person. Right. Then 1 second thought is you connect with them mentally.
Absolutely.
And then third, it becomes a little more emotionally entwined.
Right.
And now does it really matter the age if that happens?
Well, to me, it's
Not
the
to me.
emotional,
Right.
the emotional connection.
You have to get to
I think it'll help the relationship last, as well as I'll put it that way. So I will say this before we go to Celine Dion's song that I picked, but it says factors consider with general guidelines of age stuff. And this is just something I picked up. Again, suggestions and opinions, and this is for entertainment. So it just says cultural norms. Different cultures have different views on age gaps in relationships. So I want to respect that. And individual values, personal beliefs about what is appropriate, inappropriate can play a role as well.
That's true.
So I know everybody loves Celine Dion, and I just thought this would be a great song for today's topic. So take it away, Ed.
Looking out on the morning rain, I used to feel uninspired. And when I knew I had to face another day, oh, it made me feel so tired. Before the day I met you, life was so unkind, but you're the key to my peace of mind. 'Cause you make me free, you make me feel, you make me feel like a natural woman.
So I think that's important. Right?
Yes,
That's important.
absolutely.
So anyway, Celine Dion she's just such a popular artist, and I love that song. I love her.
It's a beautiful song written by Carole King.
Yes, exactly.
It's her,
right.
the first person that sang it.
So good. You should
But
be
she-
DJ Renee.
No,
That's
but
right.
Celine
I
Dion, nobody
love
can
it.
sing it better than her. I swear. She can sing anything and make it sound
Yes.
great.
Yeah.
But that's a great message, right? You make me feel like
Yes.
a natural woman, and that's what love's about a little bit. And
That's right.
also,
I
and the
agree.
same go to men.
Mhm.
So, Detective Jay, we're running already low on time, and I do want to have a closing song. So, Detective Jay, are you with us today?
Yeah, I am.
Hi, thank you. Thank you
Hi.
for being there. And you're going to talk a little bit. We've got probably about literally 2 minutes. Give us,
really?
yeah, sorry.
All right.
But if you can give us your take on what you want to give us your take on.
The
Shrink and Wrap Show. How about that?
I really appreciate the liberty of being able to give you my take on what I want to take on. That'll work on. All right. So, moving on with what I want to take on there on the Shrink and Wrap Show. All right.
You're awesome.
Okay. Moving on. First thing it is, I just want to recognize this. And Tracy and you and I discussed a little bit. This is May Military and Mental Health Month.
Yes.
So I just want to say thank you to our military. And I want to just say that my aunt, Sarah Iris Young, was honored at the Tampa Bay Lightning game.
Wow.
As the first U.S. Sergeant Army Sergeant in the Korean War.
Wow.
Oh, that's so
She was
nice.
That's
honored.
amazing.
Yes, she was honored. I
Yeah.
mean, let me
Cheers.
tell you, they sing the national anthem. They put her out in the middle.
Nice.
It was
Mm.
absolutely amazing. I want to just a big shout out to say
Mhm.
thank you for the military. Hollywood Chris was also a flight pilot, captain on the USS John F. Kennedy. And I want to say thank you to all our military out there. Thank you for your service.
Absolutely.
And cheers. We will do a cheers to all of our
Yes,
military. It's very, very
absolutely.
important, and we
Right.
respect and appreciate that.
Janice, is that why that they're doing the SOCOM thing at the convention center with all the different?
Yeah.
Is that why?
Yeah.
I didn't.
It's Military Month and Police Month.
I didn't
Amazing.
know
and
that.
Mental
Thank
Health
you.
Month, which all goes together.
And it's
And we're
very
gonna
important.
Talk about that next week on the show a little bit more.
That's
Oh,
right.
I loved watching it. I love going
Yeah.
there and watching all that.
But
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
everybody,
Mm.
for chiming in on that one. Then the next thing I want to talk about a little bit, Tracy, you and I discussed this, and I thought it was very interesting that you brought this to my attention.
Mhm.
We talked a little bit about dating sites for minors.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting.
Wow.
And do you know that there is actually dating sites that now parents have to approve, but they're dating sites. In fact, I found 13 dating sites for kids that are 13 to 18 years old.
no.
What?
I listen. I mean, I know when I was growing up, we couldn't date till we were like 16.
Yes,
right.
I
Oh my
was not
God.
going to the
That's
club.
in my
Absolutely.
house.
Yeah.
So what'd you find about
Well,
that? Find out. That seems illegal.
Yeah. So basically, I did a little digging. I made a few phone calls to folks I know that deal with juveniles and that kind of stuff, minors. And some highlights are there are some, like I said, 13 to 18 years old have to have parental, approval. And then there are those 18, 17-year-olds who interact on regular dating sites, but they have to have parental approval. And then you have the 18-year-olds. So you really have to, it's almost the same. Donna Kay was talking about this last week, a lot about the pros and cons. And they have to be really careful because the highlights are they can interface with other teenagers and they can flirt and interact with
Oh
others.
my God,
It's really
that's just
interesting.
not even normal.
It's crazy, isn't it, Renee?
Mhm.
It's not even normal.
But some of the pros are that some of the sites, like, Donna Kay mentioned, the site she uses is, stars, 5 stars. No abusive chatters, and then the users can use across the same interests like YouTube, Facebook. Now, the cons are that you have some Java updates, not good because, Java can be a tricky thing sometimes for accessing chat rooms. And
Chat rooms are awful.
I personally, as a police officer, saw many kids that were on those chat rooms it was deep and dark. So you got to be careful with that. You
Yeah.
got to be careful where they go.
So,
So
Detective
basically-
Jay, with 30 seconds left, tell me, what can we do to protect our kids? And you can come back on next week too, because
We
the
need to
show's
talk
going to be
about
cut
that
off.
more.
I'd like to talk more about that next week, but in 30 seconds, I'm down to 5 minutes, and I have exactly that. But in 30 seconds, is there just 30 seconds of what we can do? Just what do you do with your kids, or how do you protect
You
them?
have to. The first thing is you should be, if your kids are under 18 years old, you should be on their Facebook. You should be on whatever app they're on. You should be able to interface with that app and see exactly who they're talking to.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And exactly. That's the number one thing.
That's called parenting 101.
The other
And
thing.
it's not intrusion. It's not invasion of privacy,
No,
which most
it's
people think.
absolutely being,
Exactly right.
It's parental.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
It's just like what do they watch on TV? There's parental guidance.
Right.
So you have those parental controls on the phone as well.
Okay.
And you just have to be cautious with it and diligent.
Okay, thank you, Detective Jay. We're down to 4 minutes, and Renee's going to have 1 minute, and I have a closing statement.
1
so
minute.
actually 30 seconds,
Okay.
45
All
seconds.
right, Renee,
Thank you,
I
Detective.
yield
We'll
the-
see you next week, Shrink and Wrap Show, right here.
Renee,
Right.
Yes.
I yield the rest of my time to you.
Thank you
There we
so
go.
much. I appreciate you.
All right, there's go. And you're down
Happy
to 30
Mother's Day.
seconds. 30 seconds.
Mother's Day weekend. I'm not going to even take you down the concert aisle. I'm just going to give you what's happening, and it's all about mothers this weekend.
30 seconds.
And so we have a couple things that are very easy to access. There's a lot of big places, Vinoy and the dances are open and all that, but I'm going to give you a few with your kids. Wild Brunch at the Zoo Tampa has bottomless mimosas, food variety, carving stations, and decadent desserts. And if you haven't tried it, that's a great start. You can
Wow.
get on zoo.org,
Yum.
zootampa.org. And then the cruise ship, the yacht Starship is having a bunch of different seatings, and then brunch at Busch Gardens, and they're having it along with the food and wine, which I always talk about. What's it? The Food and Wine Festival, and the person that's playing there this week is Grand Funk Railroad, and they start at 7 p.m. So on Sunday brunch, and then my personal favorite is Mother's Day bouquet making. And they have one in downtown Tampa at the Dwell home. And it's at 1050 Water Street. It starts at 11 and it goes to 12. They teach you how to put a bouquet together, and then you can take it to your mother. And also Mother's Day bouquet class at Life Farms in Clearwater.
Okay, thank you for all that. I
You're
appreciate that. That was a lot of
welcome.
homework. Happy Mother's Day, and I have my closing statement. And listen to the lyrics of the song. When the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace. So thank you, everybody. Happy Mother's Day. Listen to the Shrink and Wrap Show back. We'll be back here next week. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Happy
And thank you, my
Mother's Day.
wraps.
Happy Mother's Day.
You don't wanna dance with me, but babe, that's what I need. Please now, just this once. Dance, baby. You don't wanna sing with me, but babe, that's what I need. Please now, just this once. Sing, baby.